That's all the clapping for.
All right, guys, we are back in Goose.
Yes.
Yay! I don't think we updated you guys that we got him back, and it actually all went really smoothly, and it wasn't too bad. But if you're following us on like Instagram, you have seen that we got Goose back. But
We had all these issues. So on the Uruguay side of things, the agent didn't file some paperwork that needed to be done before the vehicle or whatever you're shipping leaves the sort of home port on its way to the U.S. You need this filled out to sort of tell customs in the U.S. what are you sending to our country. If you don't do it until within like 4 days of it leaving the port, then there could be fines, could be further inspections, all these things. So we were freaking out a little bit. And then a buddy of ours who we met in Guatemala, actually, in the Land Rover Defender, Marcus, he gave us the name of an agent in Houston, and we reached out to her. And so it cost us an additional $300, her fee, to have her jump into this sort of mess. But it was fantastic. As soon as she jumped in, it was like every problem we had started to check off the list. And so then she got a trucking company to pick up the container. You can't go into the port in Houston or probably in the U.S. at all.
I don't know. Yeah, but this port you couldn't.
Yeah, unlike all the other ports, in foreign countries, you just walk up, undo the thing. There's a lot of rules and hard hats and all the other stuff you've seen us wear, but you can go right to your truck and retrieve it. This was but nothing like that in the port. You can get your container, you take it off site. I don't care where you take it. Then you can get your goods out of the container, return the box to us within, I don't know, there was like a 4-day window. And then there's no fee, and then they'll reuse the box, of course. So she had to sort out all of that. And we couldn't get to Houston because our flights were canceled.
Kept getting canceled.
And even if we got there, where would we stay? And then on top of all that, we heard that Texas had a thing for any state, anyone flying in from a state with high coronavirus numbers would have to go into quarantine for 14 days, which California is where we were, so that was included in one of those states. So we could have flown in, but we would have had to sit in a hotel or an Airbnb for half a month.
Yeah.
So she handled all that for us, got it out of the container, let us know that the truck was, in their warehouse idling, and it was the best moment ever. And then we needed to get it from there to California where we were. So we found a trucking company, had it trucked all the way out. So there's a lot of additional costs. We probably,
but no $5,000 fees, which was
no fine or whatever. That was whatever it was, $2,500 or somewhere in the thousands. It was going to be bad. So we were happy that none of that happened.
Yeah.
And then the people who shipped with us, who were from South Korea, their truck was from Canada. That made it complex too, because they said, well, if it's not emissions approved for the U.S., you got to do all this paperwork. Thankfully, their 4Runner had once been sold originally in the U.S., so it had all that. But there's so many little things to think about, not just for you, but who are you going to ship with? Who are you going to choose to go with? And of course, there's no way of knowing that South Korea was going to have really bad coronavirus numbers right at the time we're all trying to fly back to the U.S. So they could have been rejected at the border saying, we can't allow South Koreans in. It's like, well, hold on. We've been in South America for a year. We're fine. But, will they really look at that? Probably not. So sort of thankfully, the borders were so loose. When we got back in, coronavirus was blowing up, and there was nothing. No one asked us a question. No one checked our temperature, took blood, nothing. Yeah. No tests, nothing. So kind of in a way, although that's a little scary, in a good way, they were able to get in. So they got their truck, we got ours, and
Yeah, so we kind of hunkered down, making sure we don't have anything for at least 14 days, and we just hung out. We weren't sure all the events that we came home to kind of work are not currently happening. A lot of them have been totally canceled. Some of them we're still waiting to hear. And so we weren't really sure what to do. We didn't have a lot of work that we had come home for. So luckily we have found some work, and that brought us to Oregon. Yeah. So now we're in Oregon.
Yep, we're up in Oregon doing this contract work for the government, and really thankful. It's one of those many irons in the fire that I used to always sort of keep lit or whatever. I don't know if that makes any sense. Keep lit, keep hot. But, just thankful that I over the years, every little side job I've done, every little thing that I've done, for a weekend, or even in the last economy when it was really bad, I did this work full time. That was over 10 years ago, though. So, make that one call or many calls, but that one that actually they say, yeah, we have some work for you. Just completely luck.
Yeah. And it worked out timing-wise that, we had a few weeks to do kind of the projects on Goose, change out suspension and a few little things that he needed to have done that were easier to do in the U.S. So we did those things and cleaned him up, and now we're back living in him again. So
yeah, so we've been about a month.
Yeah,
about a month back in Goose, and this job just finished, so we are going to head today to explore more of Oregon. I want to beach camp if the weather's good, go maybe visit some friends in Bend, and go to the Alvord Desert and all that kind of stuff.
We have our bikes with us now because we've been dying to have mountain bikes, so we brought them with us. So there's a lot of cool trails up here. We've gotten to ride some, and hopefully we'll get to ride more soon. So. And you'll see all of this in a few months probably on our channel. Yeah,
and we're doing our best to catch up. I think the best news for you guys, if you would rather us be caught up, is that because we're working so much, we're working full-time at this other contract job, those videos are going to start catching up because we're not going to make as many right now, present time.
We're not filming as much currently.
But we're still, a couple days a week at least or more off exploring. Well, we're exploring every day for the job actually, but we're not filming that because that's a separate thing. But we are filming on the weekends and stuff. Like today, we're going to go and beach camp and off-road, and should be rad. I can't wait.
Yeah. So we just wanted to give you guys a quick live update so that you know Goose is back and he's safe, because before this I know we were doing some live videos and we talked about it. So
if you want to follow us real time, check us out on Instagram. We don't post a ton, but in the stories, I'm usually posting a couple of things happening, almost every day.
Yeah.
And that way, if we're near where you're at and you want to reach out, and if it's okay in your state or in your city to get a beer, we can always social distance, grab a beer somewhere.
Or just let us know what's cool in town, what
where
trails
to go
to check out, where to camp, all of those kind of things. We've had a lot of people actually reach out, and so we've gone to grab beers with some of you, and others have just told us a lot of cool places to check out, which we're thankful for.
So we're Oregon now, and then Colorado's next, and maybe Wyoming for work. So that's sort of our next few months, I think, until these events start happening, and then we'll see at the events. And then we don't know exactly where we're heading next, but not too long we'll be letting you know as soon as we decide and figure it out and save enough money, what country we're going to, what continent, all that kind of good stuff.
So thanks for watching, guys, and hope everyone is staying healthy. We have our little masks right here. So we're also being careful.
All right, see you later.
Bye.
Hello, dreamer. You've been dreaming for so long.